the whole thing was more to be inspired by the game itself. You know, try to find something that actually fits in with the game. You know, they tell me to do this mod. But I wanted this to be a more of a custom one-to-one that actually means something. When I get approached to do mods for a gaming studio, for tech brand, or any outside of what I do, it's always a collab project. But I always tend to try to create a mod that actually fits within their ecosystem as far as their environment or wherever the system is inspired by. Like this build here, this mod is actually inspired by Companies of Heroes 3, which is a war game based in World War II, so it's 1944. So when they told me about they wanted a mod for this game, I thought about it, and I kind of remembered that there's a store around here. They sell a lot of reused army stuff, but I never thought that they would actually have something original that I can use and it fit very well with the game. So I found these two seats. They're backpack seats, and they're actually made from the original World War II seats that they use in war, and they're stamped 1944. So these are actually original seats that were used out there. And I also use wood. I use wood because the outside panels are made out of wood. So why not use the same materials as they used to kind of keep it more cohesive on the actual design. So that's why I tend to give it more, a little bit of, there's some imperfections in it, but it's intentional because I wanted to have this mod where it's not so pristine, but also it looks like it's been out in the field. So that's the whole part on why I decided to go in that direction when it came to painting some of these panels and using wood material to make these panels accessible to the mod. And once I saw that, I knew that I wanted to use it. But once I got those and I was looking into them, and I wanted where they literally look like panels to me when I saw these seats. They're backpack seats, so it's just fully, the way it's made, it's almost like, it's wood. It's made out of wood, but it's curved on the sides and it has holes in the middle. So I was like, whoa. Once I took out some of the material that was attached to it, it fit very well as far as for panels. So I did a front panel and a back panel for this. And then I created a custom mount in the middle to hold the motherboard and the GPU and the radiator that floats on top. the original seats from World War II. And it's, I think, just using some of that, it kind of means much more getting firsthand on what something is from back then. I think it was just a perfect opportunity to use those seats. It also came with like some old vintage rope that was tied to the seats, and I actually took some of the rope out, and I still wanted to use the rope. I just didn't want to just have it laying there and tied there. So I asked the guy, what did they use to tie? They said normally they tie some of them, whatever they had, some clothing, or they also had bullets that actually would tie into the seats, because the seats were covered by fabric in the front, and then it's tied up with rope. So I was like, what if it's a good opportunity to use that rope and actually tie a radiator? So I added some more details on the case itself, because on the back side I mounted the power supply that sits in the back, and I just didn't want to mount the power supply, but also want to give it some character to it. So I mimicked some of the design features from the seats to cover the power supply, and then once I covered the power supply, I painted the same color as the color of the seats, so it kind of matched pretty well, and also applied blank bullets to give it more that theme look of the game itself. I found some bullets that were in canisters. These are just shell blanks, so they're in canisters. So I took those canisters and created a bottom panel to screw in the actual bullets, so it looks like the bullets are actually part of the whole chassis. So now, finding the fill this beast. Hopefully it's not leaking, but we will see once I turn this on. I'm using this distilled water on this. I'm just using distilled water on this, so hopefully everything turns out well. Just small details like that, what actually brings out the mod even more. Instead of just applying just a vinyl sticker or just applying the logo, but also going outside the box and creating something that actually means and that has substance from the actual environment, which is World War II. So as you can see behind me, these seats and some of the material you see here was actually original material that was used back then. And I just thought it was a perfect opportunity to use some of this stuff for this mod for Company of Heroes 3, and it turned out pretty awesome.